start. Let's start, Ken.
Mom, Dad, I don't want to live anymore.
What? Don't say that, honey. You're never gonna do that. Would you?
These conversations happen in families around the world every single day. In fact, in the age group of 15 to 24, suicide is the second leading cause of death. A full 4% of that population have suicidal thoughts every single year. The question is, why is this happening? And is there anything we can do about this? So to look into this question, I want to take you guys to a nonprofit organization that started in 2012 called DoSomething.org. Sounds like your mom telling you to clean your room. But count that. They basically get teenagers to help clean up the environment, get sports gear for children, help the elderly, that kind of stuff. And they're doing well. They send 200,000 texts to teens every single week. And it's going along, and they started to notice they were getting text messages back from these teens. And they actually found them very insightful. So one of these text messages read, "I don't want to go to school today. The guys are calling me a faggot." Another one read, "They call me fat and ugly. I don't know what to say." But there was actually one that really moved the CEO of that organization. It read, "He keeps raping me. He told me not to tell anyone. It's my dad. Are you there?" So this spawned the new organization that takes teen crisis text messages. And this was an organization that took 28 million text messages since it started in 2013, and it grew faster than Facebook. So one common question that might come up is, are we actually just letting people get what they want if you just let them commit suicide? That's what they wanted to do. And to really study this question, I want to take you to a bridge in San Francisco that was built in 1937. Now, this bridge is one of the most popular places to commit suicide. It's one of those bridges that we actually should burn down. But they do have signs throughout the bridge saying that there is help available, there are options, and they even have volunteers that patrol the bridge to look for people trying to jump. The jump is a good 250 feet down at 75 miles per hour, so 95% of people would die on impact. The other rest would basically die of exposure. But of the 1,600 people that jumped, amazingly 32 people somehow made it. And researchers were able to interview 16 of them. But what's more amazing still is that they all essentially shared the same experience. They all basically said, "When I let go of that bridge, I knew I made a big mistake. When I saw that abutment coming towards me, I just swam in the air. I wanted to do everything I can to survive. Whatever problems I had in life, I knew I can solve if I can just survive that jump." It really turned out that when someone contemplates or even attempts suicide, they're actually not trying to kill themselves. They're actually asking for help. So of course the next logical question is, what can we do to help? Okay. Is anybody trained in suicide awareness or prevention? None of us are. Right? Me either. I'm not trained either. And I don't know what to do. Like, what if he convinces me to commit suicide? I might do it with enthusiasm. Who knows? Yes, you guys know. Now, it turns out that it's actually not rocket science, and you actually don't need any specialist training. All it takes is 3 simple steps: recognize, realize, and refer. So we can all recognize signs of depression and be on the lookout for that. We can all ask probing questions to get people to realize if they're having suicidal thoughts or planning for suicide. And we can all refer them to professional help. There are tons of organizations that can help in that area. So this is something all of us can do and all of us should do. Now, actually, the counselors themselves don't actually do any counseling. not because they're underpaid, they're volunteers, and they do it with enthusiasm. Come on. Now, the reason is, if you really imagine a teen comes in 4 a.m., calls in, wants to kill himself, right? You're not gonna help him work through his budget issues and get him back in the black. He's not really in that mode of thinking. He's stuck in what's called a fight or flight response mode. If those of you that know a bit about neuroscience, there's the prefrontal cortex, that's your logical center. So that's basically shut down when you're contemplating suicide. And the amygdala, your reptile brain, is taken over. Right? So what the counselor really just needs to do is get the teen safely through the night. Right? He basically just needs to get the teen to have blood flow restored to the prefrontal cortex so that he can be in a more calm, a more cool place. And one technique that they tend to use is called heart-focused breathing. Anyone heard of that? Let's do it all together. So typically the counselor would get the teen to do it with him. So we can all do this together. It's very simple. Just put your hand on your chest. Let's all do it. And just start breathing. Slow down your breathing. Breathe a little bit deeper than normal. And imagine, feel the movement of your chest. And imagine your breath is coming directly in and out through your heart. And the teen may be resentful. He may say something like, all my friends have deserted me. I don't deserve to live. And you can simply respond. I care about you, and I want you to live. You're the only one that is just like you, and we need you to be in this world. And as you do this, send your unconditional love, send your concern, your care for the other person. And as they keep breathing, they'll slowly realize their thoughts would begin to clear. Then they realize, hey, maybe it's not so bad after all. Thank you. No. So thanks for doing that. In conclusion, suicide.
Is it chest or
chest? Yeah.
Chest
yeah. Heartbeat. So in conclusion, suicide is a tragedy, especially teen suicides, but it really doesn't have to be that way. All of us can help out, and it's not so much the suicide act itself, but it's really the stigma of it all. We just tend to look away or turn away whenever the subject comes up. If we can just talk about it like catching the flu, then we can all talk about it. So next time, if you see somebody being depressed, if someone comes up to you, if your child comes up to you and says, Mom, Dad, I don't want to live anymore. Instead of just turning away or talking them down, how about considering 2 simple words? Let's talk.